Hello, everyone, to the one more session by COE. Today we have Prachi with us, and she will introduce regarding like overview of fabric. So, without doing a further ado, let me hand it over to Prachi.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here. So, hello everyone. So, I am Prachi Jain and I am currently having 6+ year experience in the Power BI and Microsoft Fabric. In the Microsoft Fabric, I am having 2 year experience because I am working on the Fabric project since it launched. But as Fabric is a combination of existing tools, so I was working on those tools earlier also before Fabric. So let me share my screen and let's get started. Hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, Prachi.
Yeah. So did you started Fabric?
No, Prachi, no.
No. So see as okay. So are you using Power BI?
Yes. Just for a visualization, we are using Power BI. Apart from that, nothing much.
Okay. So let us start it. So do we really need to switch to Fabric if we are using Microsoft existing product? We are using Microsoft Power Platform, we are using Power Apps, we are using Power BI, Power Automate. So do we really need to switch to Fabric or not? What is Fabric? Like why this Fabric is booming since it launched and why we need to switch it? Is it same as Power BI? Like is it part of Power BI or this is parent of Power BI? So first, do we really need to use the Fabric workload? It depends. Like it depends the scenario, the current scenario situation. So if there is no situation, no scenario, then no, we don't need to use the Fabric workload if we are working on the Power BI projects and our tasking our task process is working smoothly. We don't need any additional require. We are not there is no additional requirement for that for those we need the we need to use the Fabric, then we we don't need to use. But because this is booming, we need to switch when we want to switch. Should we need to switch? If yes, then when? So if as like I'm considering like someone already started to switch, someone want to switch, someone want to learn what is Fabric and why we need this. So yeah, so as like we have the Power BI, using that we are provide doing the visualization. But now the Fabric. So in the Fabric, there are lot of workloads, lot of artifact. Using that, we can do different things. We can do ETL. We can do real time data. We can bring real time data. We can bring stream data. So if we are existing, we are using Power BI. If we use the Fabric with the Power BI, that will be very great combination. Like lot of opportunity will be open. Like we can do ETL by ourselves instead of suppose, for example, I need to I need to add one column or the column is not correct. Suppose I am using the SQL database connector in my Power BI report and I need to create the view the table that I am using don't have all the required column. So I need to do the merge. Use the merge query, create my fact table, dimension table. So either I can do in Power BI using the merge. But I don't want to make my Power BI heavy. If we have the data engineer, why not? Can I ask a data engineer, please, can you please create a view? I need only these columns. Suppose my table have 100 of columns. So, and I need these column using combination of two or three columns, two or three tables. So we can go to data engineer. Yeah, please, can you add this field? We need this field. Suppose calculated field also we can do in Power Query, but I would like to do that ETL thing at upstream level, the upper level, database level, data engineering level. So is if like there are a lot of back and forth, like I need to go again, like for my requirement, data engineer, can you please add this? Can you please do this? If I don't depend on the data engineer, if I can do it myself, then like that will be very great. Like I don't need to go to like anywhere and I don't want to go in the loop of that process. Instead of waiting, I can use the it depends, like if the organization is open to use, then we can use the fabric for our ETL process, for the data engineering process, for the data engineering machine learning also we can use. So how we will enable the fabric in our environment, in our tenant? So in the Power BI, like see, everyone know Power BI. Like Power BI, we have the Power BI desktop and the Power BI service. So in the Power BI service admin settings, we need to enable the Microsoft Fabric for our tenant. So every tenant have the option, they want to enable the Microsoft Fabric capabilities or not. Like they want to allow their organization to use this feature or not. So first we need to enable the Microsoft Fabric. Then our organization members can use the Fabric features. So see, like this is basic Power BI that was adding the great business value. But when we enable the Power BI, it increase collaboration. Like see what we can do in the Fabric. Like Fabric is there, we can use in our Power BI applications, we can use in our power apps power apps application, like the write back capabilities, Power BI, Power Apps Fabric, the write back capabilities under the one environment. Like earlier, for example, suppose like before the Fabric, also we can do the write back capabilities. But in that, I need to, like, definitely there will be a database where I will do the write back. There can be Azure SQL database, but here everything under one platform. My Power BI is here, like in the Power Platform, in the Microsoft ecosystem, everything under the same platform. So here Power BI is there and the Fabric is also there. Now, before the Fabric, before if we did not enable the Microsoft Fabric in our tenant, then we can see the items, but we are not allowed to use it. Once our organization enable this feature, then we will able to see all the artifacts. We call these new items as artifacts in the Fabric. So we can see all the artifacts that Fabric have once we enable the Fabric feature in our tenant setting, in our tenant Power BI service admin portal. Once admin allow us, then we will be able to use the Fabric features. Now, next, like Fabric, what is the use of Fabric for our Power BI developer? So
Actually,
see,
one quick thing. Actually,
yes,
one quick question here. Before
yes,
Fabric, how is the
yes.
process used to be? How is the process used to be
Okay, for which, like process for which?
for data ingestion and all the stuff,
Yeah,
visualization?
yeah. So see, before the Fabric also there are, like, see, in the Power BI, lot of connectors, like 200 plus connectors are there. So data source, data ingestion, like data source can be anything, can be my Excel, can be my CSV. Like see, there are a lot of other data management softwares are there. The we can Azure SQL database, Databricks for the ETL process, Azure Data Factory, Azure Snap, Snowflake, like it depends. Apache Spark, separate. So before the Fabric also everything was there. Fabric is just a combination of Azure existing capabilities plus additional capabilities. So let me give you example. So maybe we will come to this point later. Yeah, let me go here. Yeah. So if you see the Fabric, what is Fabric? Fabric is a combination of data factory, data engineering, data science, data warehousing. So for the data ingestion, earlier, like see, every organization have the data engineering team. And data engineering, like suppose I have a manufacturing company and like there huge amount of data I need to, like I am doing the transaction also, warehouse inventory also, warehouse management also. So for that definitely I will use a database. That can be SQL Server, that can be Azure SQL database, that can be Snowflake, anything. So that is my warehouse that I am maintaining. And for the reporting, we are using, like it depends. If we are using visualization, we are using Power BI. So we can connect my warehouse data for the warehouse data I created for the manufacturing. I can connect with the Power BI or Tableau or any other visualization tool. So before the Fabric, everything was there. Like I can do the same thing. Like if you see here, the data factory. Data factory is the existing Azure resource, Azure data factory that is used to do the ETL process, extract, transform, load. The data engineering, this is the data, the same thing. Like here, this is a combination data engineering. The here in that we have the notebooks, the Databricks, data factory, everything. So everything earlier was there, plus additional capabilities, the real-time intelligence. Like this is the direct capability of the Microsoft Fabric. If I need to use the real-time streaming data, suppose we have the sensors and I need to stream the data because I want, suppose suppose for example, in the cold storage, we have the sensors that tell us the temperature of the room. If temperature is not as we need, then it will trigger the like sensor will trigger the information, and then sensor will trigger the alert, then we get the information that I would like to have the real time alert. So for that, we can use this. Like before Fabric, also there is other approaches. In the Azure also, we have the event hubs, event stream, Azure Stream Analytics, like other platform also we have these things. But using the Fabric, I don't need to use multiple resources. This is this artifact, the real time. In that we have the event stream artifact. In that we have the connector. I just like need to be aware how I need to use that artifact. But there is no additional, like I don't need to create this thing for this. No. Just like everything under one platform, under one umbrella. So is it clear? Is it clear now? Funny. Sorry. What was your name?
Prachi. Yes, it is clear.
No, Ayush. We are on the different screen. Yeah. So let me go back to first reason, then we will come back here. So now, reason one, why Power BI developer need to switch to Fabric or need to, like, yeah, we need to learn, we need to go ahead with new features, new technology, whatever. So reason one, the one lake. Do you know what is one lake? And does anyone know what is one lake?
No.
No. See, what is one lake? One lake is a same like as we have the Microsoft OneDrive. Everyone know Microsoft OneDrive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what? Yeah, one lake is same. This is the same concept. The same, like one lake is like the one drive. There, like our every data, like all data will be stored in the one lake. So there will be no duplicacy of the data. So I like we will not duplicate the data. Like single copy, like whatever data, like if see in the here we have the multiple options. The data factory, if I process the data using the data factory, my data will be stored where? In the one lake. Data engineering, if I am writing some code using the notebook, using the Python, I am writing Python code and storing my data, that will also store in one lake. So here everything will be stored in the one lake. So data, like there will be no chances of data duplication. Data will be on the one platform, and because of that, easier collaboration, reduce data duplicacy, more flexibility, and open data format. And using the one lake, suppose in the in the organization we have the multiple department, uh, and I don't I want to share some I want to share suppose in the we have the multiple department, and to the HR department I need to share the employee information, but I don't want to share the other information because the other information, warehouse inventory information, is not relevant for HR. HR only need the employee information, employee details, and employee personal information. So I will share that information with the HR in the one lake. Like I don't want, like I will not create the duplicate of the data, then will share. I can directly share whatever information I have after adding the securities. So in the one lake, we can apply the security as well, the row level security, workspace level security, item level security. Also, if I want to show only the relevant columns to the HR team. So the first reason is one lake. Now, one lake, the one drive for data. So here, as we already discussed, one lake is the one drive. So here, the single SaaS lake for the whole organization. What is SaaS? Software as a service. Like, like for my whole organization, as I said, there are multiple artifacts. Whatever data my will will process, we are doing the ETL, will be stored in my one lake only. So the so it will my data will be saved in an open format that will be used by any artifact. Suppose I process my data, suppose my data is come from the data factory and I stored in the one lake, and for different purpose. Yeah, suppose I receive the raw data. Raw data, suppose we have the healthcare system, the UK healthcare system, and every month the open data is coming. The NHS UK health system open data is coming on the portal, on their portal. So I am processing the data. Like every month, I am downloading the patient monthly file, and I am I can use anything like for the ETL. I can use the data factory to fetch the data from that website, or I can write some code, Python code, PySpark code to fetch the data, and I can drop that exactly raw file, whatever format. Is it can be zip, can be Excel, can be CSV. I am dumping the data in my one lake. So this is the first part. Now, second part, yeah, now I got the raw file, what we have on the NHS portal, what we have on the site, like the main source. Now I dump the data into my system. Next part is the engineering day. So I want to process the data. Suppose in the raw data we have the 100 columns, but yeah, for my system, like for my organization, only need the required columns, and I need to clean the data. Suppose, for example, in the the data I downloaded, the naming convention, column naming convention are not in the format that not readable format. I want to give proper format because maybe there is some glossary. The column header is some like H1, and I need to map that with the glossary. So I will manage the data. I will do the ETL whatever required, so that my data engineering part will come. So engineering team will pick the data from the one lake and do the ETL. Then after ETL, the data will be saved. The clean data will be saved because yeah, we will do the ETL. Then definitely after that we will save our data. Then we will save our data where? The one lake only. Data, my data will be stored. Now, next thing, like how we can reuse this data. Suppose on this data, like the data that we store, as I take an example of the patient data, and we read, we process, we store like ready for use. That using the data, see now the yeah. So we started. First step, maybe suppose using the data factory, I dump my raw data in the one lake. Like step one, I dump the raw data. Then step two, I do the ETL. In the proper format, I do the ETL. Then step three, my data is ready. Now the Power BI, the visualization, I am consuming the data and I am showing the insight, I am showing the real value, the Power BI. So whatever data we are using, we are storing in one lake and using that, we are reading and writing. And like there can be three step only, or there can be four step also, it depends. Suppose, as I said, patient data. The insight is clear, like yeah, we are showing the patient insight. Suppose doctor want this, the data is incorrect. They want to edit the data. So if we are providing the capability to edit the data, that fourth step can be that. So we created the tool, using the Power Apps, so that doctor can edit or the practitioners can edit the data doing the write back in the ETL process. So they can edit the figures, whatever functionality we have provided. So in that Power Apps, we will read the data from where? From the one lake only, this ETL data. And then whatever changes will be done, that can be saved to one lake one. So here everything, that's why we are using, like that's why this one lake lot of benefits. So here as yeah, so here we can see the PIE scans also, sharing also. Do you know what is PII? Does anyone know what is PII? PII is personal identity info identifiable information. See why it is important. As in the same example, my patient data, I cannot expose my patient phone numbers, patient contact ID, contact number, contact email address. So that data also we can mask in one link. So we can mask the government's compliance. So yeah, so these are the features of the one link. Now, one lake integration. So we can integrate, we can convert our one lake, like for the Power BI users. We can convert our existing semantic model to the one lake so that our report refresh will be fast. Because using the one lake, it will not hit a lot of data. The refresh will be very fast. So we can bring our import model into the one lake also. If see, here is those two scenario. If we are using Fabric, first, are we using Fabric? Second, we are not using Fabric. So if we are not using Fabric, we can export our existing model to the one link, like using these settings. And if we are using the fabric, then our data warehouse lake house is already in the one lake, so we don't need to convert our semantic model to that because that is already directly connected to our one lake. So using these settings, we can enable our current import mode to one lake. Now, like why we need this? Like, see, the one lake concept, like this is very helpful with respect to the semantic model, the report thing. The because everyone know we have the two type of modes, import mode and direct mode, import mode and direct query mode. But now the third one we have the direct lake mode as well. So now earlier what we have our database, and on that we have our semantic models. So multiple semantic model, like for the multiple reports we have created the multiple semantic models. So higher load on source, repeated processing, we were doing the repeated processing. Like suppose for example the same data set I am using, I am creating the multiple reports using the same data set. And for multiple reports, we are creating the multiple semantic model. So definitely, like for each report, each semantic model, our processing will be repeat. Our process steps can be repeat. As suppose earlier, our data was can be my Azure SQL database, Snowflake. On top of that, we are doing the reporting. If multiple reports we are doing, and if suppose in the Power Query, I want the suppose I have the sales data, and that in the sales data we have the order date and the deliver date. So I want to calculate the number of days between order date and delivery date. So I will create the calculated column in the Power Query. So here the like for the multiple reports, the same calculation will be repeat. The processing will be the same processing, like the higher use of CU. The second thing like because the Power BI is evolving. Does anyone know what is this? In the second image, what is this? DFG1. This is data flow. So data flow Gen 1. So then Power BI introduced data flow Gen 2. Sorry, Gen 1. Now we have Gen 2. This is data flow Gen 1. This is we are seeing the Power BI. So in the data flow Gen 2, we can create the like in the data flow, we can do the ETL. This is same like the Power Query editor in the Power BI service. In the Power BI service, we can see the data flow Gen 1. In that, we can do my ETL step. As I told you here, suppose the calculated column I created in the Power Query. Here in the data flow, I can, this is same like Power Query editor. I can clean my data, whatever merge I need to do. So here only one time I did. And now for the reporting, I am creating my semantic model based on this data flow, the clean data, whatever we have in the data flow, not from my direct source. So here my load will be less.
Prachi, sorry to interrupt you. Like the chat GPT screen is visible to us.
Oh, sorry. So what is now? What can you see?
Yeah, it's the PPT now.
Which PPT? Oh, which PPT you are seeing?
Now the screen is being shared for like Fabric for the Power BI developer, and you can see.
No, sorry. Which I mean, which slide you can see? Slide
First
number
slide.
12. Since starting.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
now it's showing from first.
We just start with 12.
Uh, s- See, I am explaining using the different slide.
I'm not an issue. Please just go with the slide
No,
number
but
seven.
I am explaining using the
Yes, ma'am.
see, not the issue with the other screen, but the issue with the diagram that I am explaining. Like I am talking using that diagram only. And so since the starting, I am speaking like you are
Yes,
not
ma'am.
relating with the diagram.
Yes, ma'am. Like I thought it's been only on page number one, slide number one.
Oh my God. Now can you see?
Yes, ma'am. Please.
This is see, I am explaining slide 12.
So, Prachi, all that we have been seeing is Chat GPT, nothing else.
Sorry, sir.
So, can we continue using the diagrams? That these are good diagrams.
Sure, sir. Yeah. So I am explaining this thing. The like see. So I am at this part. The evolution of enabling other Power BI developers. So like in the starting, when we don't have the data flow in the Power BI. This is my database. This is my warehouse. The data like from the main warehouse that organization have, that can be in the Snowflake, in the SQL server, in the Azure SQL database, and on top of that we are creating our reports. So for multiple reports we are creating the multiple semantic models. So in the multiple semantic model, because we are doing the same process, we, as I told you, the order date and the delivery date, I need to calculate the days. The same formula I am doing in the all my semantic model. My processing steps are repeating. My like whatever steps will be repeat. My workload will be high. Then after that, we have the data flow. Data flow Gen 1. In the Power BI service, we can create the data mart also. Earlier, there was option. Now the data mart will be retired. The data flow Gen 1, this is same like the Power Query editor. So in the Power Query editor, we can do our ETL, like whatever the minimum cleaning we are doing in the Power BI using the Power Query, we can do here. And on top of that, we can create our reports. So our semantic model will be created, will be pull the data from the data flow that have my clean data. So on using the data flow, we can create our multiple semantic model. And then in this scenario, our load will be less, processing will be shared, because only the one time we do the like whatever cleaning thing we need to do, only one time. So this is my before the fabric. This was the we have the data flow Gen 1. Now after the fabric, if you can see, like what is this is the pipeline, this is my data file, these are the fabric artifacts. This my pipeline, the data factory. This is my data flow Gen 2. This is this is improvement in the data flow Gen 1. And this is my notebook where we can write the Python code. So we get the data from the source. Then using the pipeline, using the data flow, or using the notebook, we clean the data, like not using the all. It depends on the scenario. Suppose if my source is Azure SQL database, so the best and fast way to get the data using the Azure data pipeline. If suppose I have I have one file in the SharePoint, and I, because of every organization, like it depends, but some organization have some external file that depend on the client. Suppose client want to add list of product and they want to update that list also. So that list is in the SharePoint, the external data that I need to connect with my other data as well. So for that, we can use the data flow gen 2. Why we can use? Because this is the thing I face. Because SharePoint, we cannot bring connect the SharePoint file using the notebook because the SharePoint connector is not working at the time. Maybe in future we will get. The pipeline also will not work. So the best way is the data flow gen 2. We can connect, and after the processing, we can store our data in our lakehouse, in our warehouse in the Delta format. The same using the pipeline also we can store our data in the Delta lakehouse or warehouse. Using the notebook also we can. So our data will be saved as Delta. So that is my compression form of the data. In the Parquet format, my data will be stored. Then my semantic model will be created based on this delta files. These delta tables that will be in the lakehouse or warehouse. It depends. Now my semantic model is there. And if you see this icon, what is this icon? This is shortcut. So we can like what is shortcut? Suppose I created one, suppose like we have the data in the Amazon S3 bucket that is already processed. Why when I bring the data in the Fabric, I do the again, like I connect it again, I do the ETL again. Why? It is not required. If the data is already processed in the Amazon AWS, why I need to do it? I can just using the shortcut, I can just bring the table. If I'm using the Databricks, we have the data live tables in the Databricks. Why I do here all the steps again? I know data is there. I just need to pass the required credential, required information, connection string. Using the shortcut, I can replicate the data here. So using the shortcut. And on the semantic model, here my semantic model can be directly, can be import mode, can be import mode as a SQL endpoint. So, so here, what will be? Here, load will be less. My all the report is connected with the direct link. So refresh will be done only once. So whatever, if there is any changes, my warehouse or lakehouse will be refreshed. Our semantic model is connected direct lake, so it will like our data will be reflect immediately. So more consume option, less CU because this is shared. So we done the ETL here. So this is just directly. We can shortcut to another lake house. Like we can use the multiple use case of the shortcuts. That is completely like nice topic. We can discuss later. And the further ETL do we can do and create our new delta tables. Any so this is my yeah. So this is the reason why Power. So this see we were discussing reason one. So this is the reason, this the last step why Power BI developer need to switch or need to start to use the direct link. Does anyone have any questions?
No, ma'am. It's fine.
Reason two, why Power BI developer need to start with Microsoft Fabric, powerful ETL options. So as in the starting, I told you, we can do the ETL. We don't need to wait to go to the warehouse team, go to the data engineering team and Yeah, can you please do this? So what, like, why this is important? Because here I told you, like, here we know, like, definitely every Power BI developer need to do something like in the Power Query. Yeah, that can be less. It depend on the how clean data are already. But if I need to, I will definitely go to the Power Query, do my cleaning, do the merge. If I need to merge two columns to bring that bring the required items or fields, whatever I needed. So yeah, I am doing like, we are using Power Query for some small steps also. If I have the access, I have that capabilities, why I can do those steps in the Power Query? I can do that step at upstream level, means at data engineering level. If I have access, then I can do the ETL there. So that instead of like why this why I will use the data flow, I can use the fabric artifact to do the ETL and then consume my data in the reports. So that's why the ETL is need like the powerful ETL. So that will be cost effective. You can definitely in your portfolio, the new skills will be added. And see, like, the picture is just started. Can you see my screen? The fabric, the learn.microsoft.fabric.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, here. So we just started with the data analyst, the Power BI, and the fabric thing, like we are discussing the fabric thing for the one lake capabilities for the ETL. In here we have the data science also, so we can do the machine learning thing also. We can write the LLM models also. So lot of capabilities are there. Yeah. Now I come back to my PDF. Hope you all can see. So yeah. So here you can see, as in starting we said one lake is like one drive. So here you can see, like, one lake is really like one drive. So you can see this is just the live screenshot from the this is the screenshot from the live test. So here we can see the one lake is connected, and from these are the different workspace where whatever artifact we created we can see. So we can see. So here we can directly interact with our one lake files, same like the OneDrive. This is the data flow Gen 2 that I am saying. So what is the difference between here? So in the data flow Gen 2, as I told you, this is similarly like the Power Query, similarly like the data flow Gen 1. Here, but in the here, if you see here, we have the data destination option. If you see the lake house, so data destination can be lake house, warehouse. So after processing my data, after doing the ETL, after doing the like whatever changes I need to do, we can store our data as a data table in the lake house or warehouse. So my data will be ready in the lake house, but like once I will process my steps.
Does the one lake have organized structured data only, or can it have any type of data?
It can have any type of data. So in the one lake, see in the fab, see, for the data warehousing, we have the lake house and the warehouse. So in the lake house and warehouse. So in the lake house, we can have our semi-structured data, structured data, or unstructured data. So in the lake house, we have the two things: file system and delta table. So in the file system, we can store our unstructured data. We can store our semi-structured data, and then we can process and we can save as delta table of our structure or whatever transformation we did, like we can do. But in the warehouse, we will have the semi-structured data or structured data only. So warehouse is just like the same, the SQL server, the SQL endpoint. But in the lake house, we have the capabilities for storing our raw files. Like lake house, if you know the Azure storage, Azure
Yes,
blob storage or ADLS Gen.
data lake
So
Gen 2.
yeah, so our lake house will have both capability, delta table and the file system. My file system is just same like the Azure blob storage or ADLS Gen.
Understood, understood. Got the answer.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. The fabric pipeline, the data pipeline. So here we have the same like in the as if anyone know Azure Data Factory, this is like the same Azure resources. What Microsoft did, bring that here, bring all the resources here under one platform with the additional capabilities. So here you can see like this is best feature. Like the screenshot. This is I really like this most. So using the pipeline, I can refresh my semantic model. So yeah, everyone know in the semantic model, we can set the settings and we can do the schedule refresh. But suppose I want to refresh my model once data is ready. Suppose, yeah, uh, for example, every month and date, we receive the data. Like that is the complete month data we will receive from the healthcare system in the month end. So we will receive the data and data will vary. So like uh, data can be large, data can like it depends. So and based on the amount of data our processing will be will be done. So suppose for example, like every month approximate our data will be processed in 30 minutes. But last month the data was used, it took 45 minutes. So I apply like in the reporting, like approximate like using the predictions, I set my reporting time at suppose I'm doing my ETL at morning 4 a.m. Then I set my report time 4:30 a.m. I will refresh my report. But suppose if the data processing took time, our ETL completed 4:45 a.m. But our report already refreshed because we set the 4:30 a.m. And maybe the business user will complain data is not refreshed. And when we log in, we check, yeah, data, my ETL was run, report refresh was run. Then why data is not there? Then we will investigate. So if what like in here, what we can do, the ETL process, we are using the notebook or we are using the data flow. Then once the data ETL is complete, we can refresh our semantic model. So, so we don't need to take care about the scheduled. We don't need to take care about the if data processing took time. We don't need to go to manually the semantic model to cross check the report have the latest data or not. So we can schedule this. We can schedule our data pipeline also. And they see like there are multiple benefits of the data pipeline. Like this is the best feature. So this data pipeline I can do as a ETL also. First thing. Second thing, this data pipeline I can use as to schedule my existing artifact. Here you can see the artifact, the notebook. I am calling the notebook to run at particular this time. Like I am calling my notebook to process my data at 1 a.m. I can call my data flow. I can call my semantic model. And like this is just started. Here we can add the notification also to that. We can add the Outlook like they in the data pipeline, in the Fabric data pipeline. We have the Outlook activity and the Teams activity. So I can add that activity also and send the trigger, send the mail to the manager, to the developers if something is failed, or send the mail to them. Yeah, data is up to date. The data has been ingested, or the new data has been arrived. It depends. Like multiple scenario we can do. We can send the trigger. So this is very good. Like this help developer like help time will be reduced. We don't need to like we know where we need to investigate. So the investigation time efforts will be less if we set up like this. Next, copy job item. Copy job item. This is the new feature that yeah, copy job item. Not sorry, not new. Copy job item is the data pipeline feature. So where like in this we can copy the data from our existing sources to our fabric environment. So our existing sources can be SQL database, can be on-premises SQL server, like any source. And we can copy the data in our lake house using the copy activity. Like this is just activity as here we have the notebook activity, date notebook activity to call my notebook, data flow activity to add my data flow. Same we have the copy assistant here. You can see the copy activity. So using the copy activity, we can bring the data. This is the notebook. So as I told you, we can write in the notebook, like notebook will look like this. Here we can write our code. We can write our Python code, PySpark code. Here you can see the all the options in which we can write the code. PySpark, SQL, Scala, Spark SQL. So here we can write the code. We can write the key SQL code also. So this look like this, and in the left pane you can see. So this notebook is connected with the lakehouse, and in the lakehouse you can see there are two structure: the table structure, the data tables, and the file structure. This is also the nice feature. Mirroring. As if my like if current organization is already managing their database, the big data in the Snowflake, how can I convince them to immediately switch to Microsoft Fabric? Why they will switch if they are already using the high computing database or the database for the big data? Like how can I ask them, like how can we convince? Suppose for example one organization since last 2 years, that is very big organization, they are migrating their data from the on premises to the Snowflake for the big data. And now Fabric come in the picture. Their migration is still in progress. The report migration, data migration has been done, but the report migration is still in progress. Then how? And Fabric just immediately come in the picture. Like how and why can we convince them? We cannot, because they just completed, and Fabric is not mature. Fabric is just come 2 years ago. Like now 2 years ago, yeah, there are a lot of things, lot of fancy things, features we can convince. But here, if they just in the transition mode, they are just in the migration mode, but we can convince them to use the features that will help for the reporting, that will be help for the Power BI developer. So the data management will be there. The management, data warehouse management host will be on the Snowflake only. We can mirror the database in the Fabric for our reporting, for the fast reporting, for the direct lake reporting, to use the direct lake capabilities. Suppose if we have the millions of data and I cannot import the millions of data in the Power BI report. Definitely for that, earlier we were using the direct query or like multiple approaches, direct query, aggregated tables. But now if we have the direct lake, we can use that. That will be very fast compared to direct query. So if we have that scenario, then we can convince to the team, yeah, we need to use the Fabric. our data warehouse solution will be in the Snowflake only or the existing Databricks, Azure Snaps, whatever we are using. But for the reporting, like we can show the use case, the reporting use case, why we need to use the Fabric, and for that part we can mirror our that Snowflake data or the existing data in the Fabric, and then the data will be mirrored in the one lake, and we can create our reporting on top of that. So these are the two reasons, and we have other reasons also, so maybe we can discuss in the next session. Does anyone have any questions?
No,
All
Prachi.
for now.
Prachi, you are not audible.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything. Does anyone have any questions?
No.
No questions from my side. I got some understanding from for the this fabric offering by Microsoft. So that was a good knowledgeful experience. And other than that, OneDrive tool I will one lake tool I will read about it. Sounds interesting and might be utilized in the projects later.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, then thank you everyone. Sorry for that. I was not aware. My PPT was not. I was not on the right PPT. I was speaking from the other screen and seeing my other screen, and I create the diagram also. One diagram also I create. I was navigating using that. So sorry for that.
No worries, Prachi. It happens.
Thank you everyone.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Prachi.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye bye.
guys. Thank you, Satyendra.
Thank you.